so today I'm going to do a third video. Hopefully I think it's the third, maybe it's the fourth, I don't remember, but this probably is the third. If like we're being the most modest, this is probably the third video, long video. So today we're gonna talk about Venerable Anuruddha. I would like to frame him as kind of a celestial king representative. It's kind of like feels it because it's ChatGPT's suggestion that he says he was more like a celestial king. The tendencies, not always the most modest guy, but he is definitely very virtuous, definitely indeed uphold the important virtues, and also has a lot of just rulership. So this is very uncommon among Western countries, at least in the USA. I don't know other countries, probably British, including Malaysia, also have kind of like royalty and kings, right? But in ancient India, they like have just rulership as well. It's like kind of fair and justice rulerships, right? And so this is very important. So the first thing I thought was, the first inspiration I got was from Anuruddha Sutta. So if we look at here, actually I can, right, okay, so sorry, I was spacing out a bit. So he started here, right? Once the Buddha was staying among the Bhagas in the deer park at Vesakala Grove near Crocodile Hunt. And at that time, Venerable Anuruddha was living among the cities in the eastern bamboo park. Then, as he was alone in seclusion, this line of thinking arose in his awareness. This Dhamma is for one who is modest, not for one who is self-aggrandizing. Sorry if I might butcher the term. So this first one is about right speech, right? Modesty is usually very a person who has a lot of noble appease and desire to be modest, so that is right speech, mainly from right speech, right? This really relates to the eight noble eightfold factors, right? The Dhamma is for one who is modest, not for one who is self-aggrandizing, is about right speech. The second one, the Dhamma is for one who is content, not for one who is discontent, is actually right views. Actually discussed with the chat GPT bot here. She initially followed my suggestion, is right livelihood, but after we discussed a bit, she agreed that it's right views, because knowledge or clarity cures obsession, right? Discontent is a form of obsession. That is why I regard it as right view. So this Dhamma is for one who is reclusive, not for one who is entangled. So this could be either right mindfulness or right intention, but because the right mindfulness was suggested later, so I will say this is right intention, not right mindfulness, because there was another example that was mentioned over there. This Dhamma, the fourth one, the Dhamma is for one whose persistence is aroused, not for one who is lazy. This is very straightforward. This is right effort, obviously. Not obviously, but I do believe in great faith that is right effort, because the literal definition and the literal terminology really states over there that it is right effort. So the fifth one, this Dhamma is for one whose mindfulness is established, not for one whose mindfulness is confused, most likely directly relate to right mindfulness. The sixth one, the Dhamma is for one whose mind is centered, not for one whose mind is uncentered. This is kind of complicated, and if you guys want to ask, I will maybe answer you in the comments, hopefully, alright? But for me, at least, with my experience of learning the Dhamma so much and then practicing in daily life and in meditation as well, I can at least 85% guarantee this is about right concentration, almost no doubt about it. For this Dhamma is for one whose mind is centered, not for one whose mind is uncentered. Ultimately is one who follows right concentration, right? The seventh one, the Dhamma is for one endowed with discernment, not for one who discernment is weak. So I think I maybe have that one. So I do believe this is right view, but maybe my memory is very foggy, so I'm not sure. maybe was it that one? I'm sorry if you that one. I'm sorry if you need to look at this. So okay, let me look at the 8th one first, right? Later on, the Buddha, praised his 7 line of thinking about the 7 qualities of these thoughts of a great person, right? These, right, about the qualities of someone who follows the Dhamma, right? The 8th one that which the Buddha suggested is obvious. It's very likely right mindfulness. The 8th one. This Dhamma is for one who enjoys non-objectification, who delights in non-objectification, not for one who enjoys and delights in objectification. So this is about right mindfulness, very likely. So, okay, this is not great. It's not this one. So you can see, if I correct, thankfully the 7th one also didn't say anything about it. It doesn't really involve anything about right action and right livelihood. So this is very important. People are saying, okay, why is that, right? And so, I'm sorry about this. This is a sad, unfortunate sight to see. Anyways, I forgot what I wanted to say. Oh yeah, there it is. So this is like from this occurrence that the ChatGPT suggested to me, right? Here it is. So at that time, the Buddha was educating someone about a Dhamma talk, about someone inspired. I don't know what is the American householder. I do believe it's a householder named a lay follower named Bagu, and then after that, there was a nearby in the park of the nearby park called the Park of the East Raftered Hall, and there was a good park keeper who was trying to keep the Buddha out, not out of malice. He just don't want to disturb. I do believe I maybe interpreted it wrong. The important thing is that okay, because Venerables Anuruddha, Nandiya, and Kimbila are his students, right? Oh, they saw the Buddha. They asked the gatekeeper. They asked the park keeper. Don't reject him, park keeper. Let him come in. He is our teacher. So after they gave him some courteous greetings and help him prepare water, right? Help him prepare water, bow and robe and some things, like the basic requisites, right? The Buddha said to Anuruddha, I hope you're keeping well, Anuruddha and friends. I hope you're alright, and I hope you're having no trouble getting alms food. This is very important. Okay, the next one. Not this one yet. We're keeping well, blessed one. We're alright, and we're having no trouble getting alms food. I hope you're living in harmony, appreciating each other without quarreling, blending like milk and water, and regarding each other with kindly eyes. Indeed, sir, we live in harmony, as you said Venerable Anuruddha. But, Anuruddha, how do you live this way? So, then Venerable Anuruddha, the great Venerable Anuruddha said, in this case, sir, I think I'm fortunate, so very fortunate, to live together with spiritual companions such as these. I consistently treat these venerables with kindness by way of body, by way of speech, and by way of mind, both in public and in private. I think, why don't I set aside my own ideas and just go along with these venerables' ideas? And that's what I do. Though we're different in body, sir, we're one in mind, it seems to me. To be fair though, all 3 of them think the same thing. And the venerables, Nandiya and Kimila, I mean, it's not wrong anyway, so it's good for them, so more power to them. That is good. So yeah, but I mean, it's very foreign concept for me, but if it's not wrong livelihood, I don't really care too much. I mean, more power to them, I guess. It's always good to have more good karma, more good actions. That's always good. So, and the venerables Nandiya and Kibula spoke likewise, and they added, that's how we live in harmony, appreciating each other without quarreling, blending like milk and water, and regarding each other with kindly eyes. So this is very important, right? So there are more later on, but this is how Anuruddha really you can see how Anuruddha's virtue already really shined. Not only was he because in the that one, the ChatGPT did analyze that it was the hindrances were more like conceit, restlessness, and remorse, right? It's kind of worrying about his past mistakes instead of focusing on the present as a problem, or like worrying about the future, his future, like where he, you know, his actions, or like his rebirths. Not necessarily his rebirths, but it's kind of like when you conceit as restlessness, it's kind of like the same similar mindset, right? You worry about your rebirth, your good things might not be safeguarded, right? But he is definitely a more virtuous person, like judging from his already, like after this you can see like this. Obviously after he attained arahantship, that is very natural, but you can see from his speech like this, like why don't I set aside my own ideas and just go along with these venerables ideas, right? That is very important. It means he's already had a lot of virtue, and he had a lot of experience with just and fair rulership, right? And so that is very important, because there are 15 times he is in the 33 heavens, and then 13 of those 15 times he is at the king of the demigods. So that is very important. It means he had a lot of experience with just rulership and that one. And even, at the very least, he had a lot of virtue, right? No harming, no abuse, no stealing, always a lot form on celibacy, or at least no sexual misconduct, right? And for himself, no lying, right? No lying. And this is important. So it's kind of like he's already very well established, even from his multiple lives in his background, that he is already have a lot of cultivated a lot of right actions and right livelihood. And this is very important. Right livelihood also means you have the desire to live, right? He probably has a desire to live as a very simple person, a just king, or just a just and fair king, or just a monk, right? So this is a very important detail. I don't know, many people maybe might miss it. I don't know, maybe many people don't, but I thought it might be a good idea to point it out. So this is my perspective, right? So this is for today's video. So thank you guys for watching. Maybe I'll do a follow-up video. So thank you guys for watching today. Have a good evening. Goodbye.